What's up, YouTube? This is Chris from Dullah here. Thank you guys for clicking on another episode of We Do a Love Story. I really enjoy doing this series, and I hope you do too. If you've been following along, you know that me and Shannon's relationship has been moving at a pretty rapid pace, and we made a major decision in the last video. So, of course, we wouldn't be us if we weren't making major decisions after every few months. So I'm gonna tell you guys about the next big thing that we decided to do in our relationship. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so I'm trying something new here. I'm standing up in this video versus sitting down like I usually do. I don't know if it's better or not. You guys comment below, let me know if you like this new version, or if y'all like, man, sit your ass down. I like it better when you sit. Either way, it's all good for me. It's trial and error. All right, so in the last video, I talked about how pretty much after a little over a month of dating, we were faced with a situation and we decided to move in together. Which ended up being a great decision for our relationship. It was a gamble because obviously we were still a very new couple, but it worked out perfectly because everything had been working out perfectly leading up to that point anyway. So this only made our relationship stronger. So at this point, we moved in beginning of October 2015, and we had been living together successfully for a few months. No crazy fights, no weird habits that we noticed about each other. Everything was going smooth. Our relationship was getting stronger. So everything was perfect. So Shannon had been watching a lot of HGTV, $1 Million Listings, stuff like that, just all real estate stuff. You know, one day she's like, you know, we're paying all this money on rent and we're just basically throwing it away. We don't own this place or anything like that. We've been living together great. No problems. Why don't we just buy a house and, you know, have something that we can own and actually make money off of if it appreciates in value, and, you know, we'll be good. And we'll actually end up probably spending less money per month on a mortgage than what we were paying on rent. You know, so it made sense, definitely financially, depending on how expensive of a house we got, because I think our rent at that point was like $1,200 or something like that, $1,200 a month, or maybe $1,100, somewhere around there. And we were probably trying to find a house somewhere under $1,000 a month, or at max $1,000 a month for the mortgage. You know, that was kind of like our price point. So it just made sense, but it was very, I don't know, looking back at it, it's like, oh, you know, you guys known each other for less than 6 months. What's the smart decision to do? Move in together and lock yourself into a 30-year mortgage. If my siblings or my future kids ever tried to do some stuff like this, I would be like, yo, you crazy. But hey, it worked out for us, so it's all good. Needless to say, we decided, yeah, let's go ahead and start shopping for a house. And we were looking at all these shows, looking at all these luxury houses with these nice finishes and stuff like that. So we're like, oh, you know, why don't we just buy a brand new built house, you know, get a new house built up and custom made pretty much exactly the way we want it. So we were looking at a whole lot of new home builders, True Homes, Ryan Homes. We were looking at all the homes. I think Shannon was in between jobs at this point. So because she was in between jobs, the mortgage pretty much was all on me. It was all based off of my income, my credit score, which was good anyway, but my debt to income was causing some issues because of credit card debt and things of that nature. It was really lowering the amount of house that we could qualify for. And we couldn't put Shannon on because Shannon at that time was in between jobs, so her income was pretty much zero and her credit score wasn't as high as mine. So the smartest and best decision that we had to make was to just have me do the mortgage and buy the house on my own. We would be paying for it together, but it would all be in my name. It definitely reduced the amount of house that we can afford. So after looking at all these new homes and things of that nature, and all the things that we really wanted to put into it was driving the price way up over our budget. So we ended up having to kind of compromise on, I guess, quality, I guess you could say. So instead of going new house, we were looking at older houses, fixer-upper houses that we could really make our own upgrades to after we got in. So that's kind of where our focus shifted. So we were looking at quite a few different older homes. A lot of them I really didn't like. We actually ended up finding this one house, which was a flip. Shannon found it on Facebook. They were advertising on Facebook for an open house. So she was like, oh, let's check it out. So we went over there. It was a little bit over our budget, but we wanted to check it out anyway, just to see what upgrades they did. And, she enjoyed shopping in general, but shopping for real estate and going to open houses or going to model homes and stuff like that, she loved that kind of stuff. So, we had a good time doing that kind of thing. So we went to this open house, and the couple that did the renovations and everything, did the flip, were there. I think they were selling them on their own. So they were, kind of giving us a tour. We walked around the house. They did a great job with it. It looked great. It just was a little bit out of our price range, and it ended up getting sold, I think, pretty quick. But we did like the house. We liked the floor plan. We liked the size of the house. It was the right, kind of neighborhood-ish. So, so we kind of kept that in mind when we were looking at different houses. One day, Shannon says, hey, I found this house, blah, blah, blah. It's similar floor plan to the one that we seen that was flipped, only this one is a foreclosure and, it has no work done to it. It's in its original form. You want to go look at it. I think I was working overtime at the time, or I had a really busy work schedule that day, so I couldn't go see it. So Shannon had set up a time with the realtor to go check it out and view it on her own. So she checked it out, she viewed it, she loved it, or at least I should say she loved the floor plan, but it needed a lot of work. But she was like on full flip or flop mode when she walks into this house. She's like, oh, we could knock this wall down, we could do this, do that. I think she recorded it, but she was looking at all this different stuff. And so she calls me from the place and she's like, babe, this house is amazing. It's in our price point. It's actually below our price point, and I think we can negotiate to get it a little bit lower. And she said it needs a little work. It needs a little work, but we can do it. And I got all these ideas and blah blah blah. She was so excited about the house, and she told me it was the same floor plan as the one that we seen from the flip. So she was like, I want to make an offer on the house. I think you'll love it, and I think this is the house for us. So mind you, I had never seen this house before. We didn't go back to view it later on. Like I never put my eyes on it. I seen the flip, I seen what the floor plan looks like, and she told me it was just like that. She told me she loved it. She told me that, we could do X, Y, Z to the house, make it ours, make it beautiful, all this stuff. And I don't know, she was so excited about it. I was ready to go ahead and make a decision because we had been looking at this point for a couple months. So I was like, let's do it. Let's go ahead and make the offer. Let's do it. Let's make the offer. Let's buy this house. Sight unseen. I'm like, she on full flip or flop mode. I'm on full flip or flop mode. Only this is a house that we're actually going to live in. We're not just like buying it, fixing it up, and selling it. We're actually going to live in this house. And I'd never seen it. And I was like, buy it, babe. Go ahead. Money ain't anything. Buy it. Money was a lot of things. But, I was like, yeah, just go ahead and do it. So we end up going into a little negotiation back and forth with the bank because, again, it was a foreclosure. In the end, we settled on, I think, a final price of $128. And it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a garage in the basement. And it was a 2-car garage in the basement. And a really big backyard, whole lot of trees. She did not tell me it was so many trees. I grew up hating, despising having trees on my property because I had to rake all the leaves. So if I'd have known it had that many trees, it may have swayed my decision. But you know, I really liked the vision that she had and that she had planned for the house. So I was down with it 100%. So again, we negotiated back and forth. We settled on $128,000, and Shannon was doing research on new home buyers or first-time home buyer grants. So, you know, she's doing all this research and she finds one where we can actually get $15,000 for grant money. And we ended up applying for it. We got it. We were like, honestly, one of the last people to get it. I think it was down to like two people left, and we were one of the last people to get approved to get it. So we were very lucky that we got it. Very lucky that we made the decision to buy the house, for one. And two, lucky that we got the loan application in quick enough to get that grant. So that's $15,000 towards the down payment as well as the closing costs, which was perfect because we were broke and we didn't have a down payment or closing costs or anything like that. And the bank was not negotiating to cover any of those costs. It's like, I don't know, I guess they just felt like they didn't need to, I don't know. But yeah, so we were lucky to have that. And so with that being said, after all the grant money, covering the closing costs and stuff, we ended up only having a loan for $118,000. So our mortgage was a little bit more than $900 a month, which is perfect for us. So we bought the house, and literally right after signing the paperwork to get the house, we go straight over there. We pop some champagne, celebrate our first home together, you know, the whole nine. And then we take a hammer, little tiny hammer, and bam, start breaking the walls.
Maybe you hitting the stud right there and go to the left. Yeah, right there.
Oh yeah, that went good. Because we had already talked to a couple contractors and we were trying to figure out what we were going to do. So one of the things that we wanted to do was knock out the wall that was separating the kitchen from the living room. So we decided we would do 90%, if not all, the demo ourselves. So that's what we did. That first night that we owned the house, we knocked that wall out ourselves. And we did like a bunch of other stuff, but that was the main thing that we did in the first day. And it was weird buying a house and then destroying part of it right out the gate. But we did a full, you know, kind of flip video to kind of show all the upgrades and stuff that we did. I will link that below. You guys can see all that stuff if you click the link below to check out the flip video. I think Shannon posted most of that stuff in that video, so I don't want to duplicate it. Just click down on the link and you'll be good. You'll be able to see it all. But yeah, so that is our next major decision, buying a house, and then my decision to go ahead and just buy a house sight unseen, just based off solely Shannon and her love for the house. And that was it. And I did not hesitate in that decision. Looking back, I'm like, maybe I should have, looked a little bit deeper into it. But, I trusted Shannon 100% and it worked out perfectly for us. Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and smash the like button for me, subscribe, share this video. And if you want to be ready for the next video to pop up, hit that bell notification so you don't miss a thing. Thank you.